and gentlemen, to this week's episode of the Cream of the Crop podcast. As always, I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Olas and Porto. Afternoon, gentlemen. We have quite a bit to get through tonight because we are 2 weeks behind because Olas had to go celebrate his birthday with Tony Khan. If you're wondering where the angry tweets came from, it was 100% Olas. He admitted it to us in DMs, and I have the proof to show it.
Deny. That's what my lawyer said.
But
it was me, Austin.
Yeah, it was me all along.
So yeah, a lot to get through. We have a pay-per-view, bunch of wrestling as far as WWE, a few things in AEW that we'll cover. Mainly one big thing we'll cover.
Yeah.
Some movie and other sports news, but not as much as you think it's going to be. So to start with, as always, we do This Week in Geek. And the first two stories we have are pretty cool gaming stories. Minecraft announced today that there will be a Star Wars DLC called Path of the Jedi. At first glance, it looks like it's going to be kind of almost Knights of the Old Republic style, where you're making a Padawan and going through and becoming the best Padawan killer you can become, make your own lightsaber, droids, etc. But that drops on the 7th. We're assuming it's free because they do not give a price, and really they don't give much to it other than the video they showed today, which did look cool. But it does state that you can do space travel, which I think would be interesting for Minecraft, because there's actually a space mod for Minecraft that if they implement anything from that would be actually kind of interesting.
Galacticraft.
Is that what it is? I couldn't remember what the exact. Yeah. Okay, where you can build the rocket and go to the moon.
Yep.
Okay. I definitely have to try that at some point because I've seen a few things on that. But the other bit of gaming news, and this is something I've been paying attention to just because I've played the beta and all that stuff, and it's really been enjoyable. X Defiant, I don't know if you all know what that is, but it's pretty much the way I've had it described is it's former COD employees that have since now, I guess, gone to Ubisoft and are making their version of COD with Ubisoft characters. Because it's Division, Far Cry, God, what are other titles from
Rainbow Six
characters from that where everybody has different abilities and stuff like that. But they acted like they were going to drop it, I think, in September, and they've been kind of radio silent about it. And apparently they made an announcement where it has been delayed indefinitely due to, and they said they wanted to clarify that it is not due to performance issues. The game is running the way it should. It is, I guess, some licensing issues and distribution issues that they are running into. I imagine because it is very identical to old school Call of Duty games. But yeah, as of, I think the article said last Friday, they have decided to not officially do a release date yet. They did do a beta a month ago, which is why everybody thought it was coming out this month, but it apparently is not true.
I wasn't.
So, I enjoy it. It plays identical to Black Ops 2.
Okay.
None of the character abilities are crazy overpowered. I think each class is kind of cool. Oh, Ghost Recon, that was the other one. There's a Ghost Recon squad. But the gunplay's pretty good. I really enjoyed the map design. I thought all the maps I got to play felt really nice. They were mainly 3-lane, but had intricate pathways through everything, which is something I miss from old school COD maps, because now they're all just the same type of map, just designed differently aesthetically. And no, I think when it comes out, I know you all aren't big COD people, but I definitely give it a try because it's also free.
Oh, well,
so yeah, it's a free to play. Yeah, so that was the other big thing, and they've already shown their year plan, as opposed to how Call of Duty does it as they make it up as they go. they actually have a roadmap of a plan that looked pretty good. So
like in like a year from now, they're gonna take away some features, and then in 2 years they'll add some features back in, and everybody will be really excited for it. Or is that just what COD?
no, that's just what COD does. That's
okay. I wasn't sure.
The $70 DLC that I'm getting in November. That
Okay.
yeah, we'll talk about that later because I'm still I have a whole rant planned for that.
Okay.
But the last topic is, of course, the most important topic of these three is Tony motherfucking Twitter King Khan. Had a meltdown apparently. So this is something I don't know too well. I've actually been sick this week, and these two kind of caught some of it, or I guess most of it.
Oh, I read through all of it.
I think some of it's been deleted because I tried to go through to see what I could find, and there wasn't. I mean, there was a few things. I mean, there's the Mayo Clinic thing that was really just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But this is in relation to if you're a wrestling fan and you've been under a rock for a week. AEW WWE kind of had a WCW WWE night where they fought for ratings. And WWE pulled out about every stop that you could think WWE could.
For full context, though, this was because for a while we had the Wednesday Night Wars with Black and Gold NXT versus AEW when it first started, where AEW would consistently blow NXT out the water week by week. So now that Sean's in charge, Triple H is now the head of creative. That's a story in itself that happened this week.
Yep. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did officially announce that he was.
Yeah, and threw Vince McMahon on the fucking bus.
Fucking good. Die already.
Yeah. So they wanted this one bad. And on Tony Khan's birthday, no less, they wanted a complete shutout, no debate. So they brought out every legend they could. They brought out, well, not legend, but every star they could. From John Cena to Cody Rhodes to Undertaker to LA Knight to Rhea Ripley and Dom Mysterio, Asuka. Let's see, am I missing? The Brawling Brutes.
I mean, you said stars. Okay, let's calm down.
Look, Butch. Well, Pete Dunne. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, here's the funny thing though, is they brought all these people out, and really only collectively two of them really did anything to add to the show, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Cena was there just so you could say that John Cena was gonna be there.
Oh, Paul Heyman.
I don't give a shit about Paul Heyman.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Paul Heyman's aged like a motherfucker. They showed up. I don't know if you all saw this week. They showed a picture of him like today, or I guess on NXT, and a picture of him before he took over being counsel for Roman Reigns. And this dude's aged like 20 years just being counsel for this guy.
Well, it's actually really funny. So if you look at him on Friday, he dyed his hair black again. So I think the little subtle thing. No, I think he did it on purpose. Like without Roman there, he went gray, and now that Roman's back, he's
rejuvenated.
He dyed it back.
Yeah, he dyed it back.
That's actually Paul Heyman would think of that.
Yes.
Creative genius.
So at the end of Tuesday, going into Wednesday, well, coming up, everyone knew that they'll be going head to head. So people took their little jabs at Tony Khan because they knew he would respond. And it didn't go well. Calling Sean and Triple H bald assholes. Yep. That was one. There was a jab at Vince McMahon because after repeated tweeting, someone said Sir Vince McMahon would never have this kind of tirade on fucking social media.
Because he doesn't know how to use social media.
Yeah, and Tony Khan's response was that would be the least worst thing he's done in a while. Which,
I mean,
good on you. He's not.
I'm pretty sure we have a soundboard of a specific thing.
No, can't do that one. But yeah, no, that was going into Tuesday. He pulled out some of the stops of his own, tried to get some title changes to draw up numbers.
But see, that I get. I don't knock him for that because that is an appropriate thing to do for that kind of war. I get that.
Yeah. Yep.
The fact, and then we kind of spoke on this before Olas got in, is the fact that they, in my opinion, it's still, they didn't really beat him by as much. Like, that number to me doesn't seem as much as it should have been.
It was like
900,
just north of
600,000.
I was gonna say it's like just north of 300,000 of a difference.
Which I feel like it should be way more for all the people they brought.
Yeah, the problem you're gonna run into is that whoever's watching on Tuesday's watching on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's it. It's the same thing with they did a similar number the week before without all of those people on there. Unless you're counting Dom. Unless you're counting Dom as a big draw, which he can be, don't get me wrong. But they did a similar number. So it's not even that AEW took any of their viewership away, but also like it didn't bring in as much viewership as they expected. Because they did 921 this last week, and what did they do the week before? Like 907 or some shit like that. I don't remember.
That big of a bump.
Right. AEW lost people. Now that could be because a lot of those people watch on Wednesdays as opposed to Tuesdays, but they knew it was happening.
Yeah. But also a thing to note: on certain networks, I mean, between cable companies, it wasn't advertising AEW Dynamite. It was advertising Young Sheldon or Big Bang Theory or something like that.
That was last Wednesday.
It was last Monday, and people noted that it was gonna happen for Tuesday as well.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I don't know if it was fixed. I was watching on YouTube TV, so it did show AEW Dynamite for Tuesday.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew that they had that issue the week prior with a lot of people having issues with their DVRs and things like that, not recording properly. I actually just found out that the DVR numbers count as viewership if they're played
within, I think, 48 hours.
It's not that long. It's like within a couple of hours though. Like if it's played within a couple of hours, it still counts towards the total overall viewership numbers. I
wonder if they
count learn on Twitter,
like other streaming live viewers though.
Probably not.
Because that's the thing is like, even I feel like it's hard to go by numbers nowadays. Because like you have the Hulu Live, you have the YouTube Live, where it's which of these numbers actually count as live viewership. And even then, I mean, there's people that watch it on Hulu the day after because they're fans of it, but you can't always watch it live, unfortunately. I mean, shit, the amount of times I catch any of these live is minuscule.
Yeah.
Hell, I can't even catch a pay-per-view live half the time.
Then there was the Twitter video of someone watching NXT
in the VIP
Dynamite.
box.
Yeah. Oh my god,
that one stung a chord. That one stung a chord.
That's great. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like that guy. In the audience. It's someone in the audience. They look to their left. They look to the left, and you can see the skybox, and you can clearly see NXT.
Yeah.
Like you can make out they're watching wrestling, so it's like it has to be NXT they're watching on that TV.
Yeah.
And then I laughed because there was like a response to that. I don't know if you saw it at all, but it was like some rando dude that was in the NXT crowd was like also watching Dynamite on his phone. And it was like, yeah, man, I'm doing the same thing. And it's like, yeah, dickhead, you're not in a fucking VIP box in NXT watching AEW on the big TV. You're watching it on your phone. Hey, listen, if that's what you're doing, I don't really get it because you're at a show. Enjoy that show, but whatever. If you're keeping tabs on it, like that's one thing. Like, hey, I wonder what they're doing.
I feel like NXT was put on to see what they're doing as like to see, okay, they're doing this and we're doing this. It could easily be swayed that way.
But I mean,
you could definitely paint it that way. They just didn't get ahead of it quick enough to paint it that way. And it's
because I was watching both while we were doing the stream Tuesday. Plug the stream.
Yeah, I stream on twitch.tv/MadDogOnyx, by the way.
While doing that, Because I even make a mention of what was going on at the first 30
Yeah,
minutes.
What were
Like,
we even doing Tuesday?
Rostrum.
That's right,
Rostrum.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember this because I looked over to my left and saw. So the way they opened both shows was Cody Rhodes did most of that 30-minute like ad-free.
Yeah.
It took up most of that time, right? They started with promos, everyone coming out. Cody, Dom, Rhea, and Dragunov. That was like their first 30 minutes. First 30 minutes of AEW was Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland for 30 minutes. Like, you can see where their priorities lie and where they're going with what people want to see. WWE is doing spectacle. AEW, like, we can give you good wrestling.
And I think that's inherently what it is. I think for the most part, outside of a few Jericho themed wrestling matches, most of them, it is better wrestling. You know, I am generally more entertained here lately about a lot of the stuff coming out of AEW wrestling wise than I am out of NXT. Besides like Dragunov, who I think never puts on a bad show.
You gotta have those minimum 5 Canadian destroyers per match.
I'm not saying it's all perfect. I'm saying
this way they could win it with a back elbow. You know, hey, fuck it.
With Dragunov, I saw this clip keeps getting redone, like reshown to me. Is when Dom slaps the shit out of Dragunov's chest, and you just have like before they cut away to Rhea's reaction, you can see Dom like actually show concern on his face.
Yeah.
And you see then it cuts to Dragunov looking at Dom like he wants to murder him. Yeah. Like he got fucking Walter flashbacks.
Yeah.
I'm like, after that match, chops to the chest shouldn't affect him anymore.
No.
He was
he is so fun to watch
until he died.
He is insanely fun to watch.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that more when we get into the match details, but no, yeah, I think it's funny to watch him just go on this meltdown though. You know,
it's so weird though.
You can't let him see you like that. Like if they win, they win. But you know what? Just be a good showman, and I think that's the part that differs from him and Vince. Is early Vince absolutely would have never showed, and I stand by this.
Fuck him.
Would have never shown that he was that bothered by it in front of everybody.
I mean, during the Monday Night Wars, he never showed that. Could you imagine? Like, even if Twitter was around in 1996, 97, 98,
he wouldn't have had one.
Even if they, he got one for corporate reasons, but even if he had one,
he wouldn't have been logged in any of his phones.
It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been any of that nonsense going on.
Because to me that takes away. Because now people are gonna not remember what happened on AEW.
Right, because the story is no longer that AEW put on a good show. It was, Tony fucking lost his shit online, and somebody needs to take his fucking phone away. And it's you're distracting from all the hard work that these guys are putting in, and you're making yourself the story when you don't need to be the story. The story should have been, hey, listen, we took it on the chin this week, but we didn't go out of our way to make a big spectacle of a random show. Like, we still did our thing. We were building our stories the same way we were doing the week before and the same way we're going to do next week. That's all you got to do. There's nothing wrong with putting on the same show you were going to put on regardless.
Yeah. I think it speaks more.
Yeah.
I think the fact, they had to go to this, them going to this length showed that they were worried. That alone to me is a win. Because you just go, hey, yeah, I mean, we did like we do every week, but look what they had to do just to feel comfortable.
Right. Now, the only difference is, like I said, I mean, the numbers weren't that different.
Yeah.
For NXT week to week, so it's hard to say what really got impacted. Here's the thing, right? The people that are watching an AEW are going to watch AEW.
Yeah.
A lot of the AEW fan base, at least the vocal ones on social media and stuff, are very anti-WWE. They weren't going to tune in anyway. They lost viewership. Now, it was a different day. Okay, these things happen. The problem, and this was, there are things that need to be worried about. you're not growing your audience. Now, again, I'm not just talking about Tuesday, right? They did a low number. It was like what was it, 600 and something?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
It
was like low. It was like
something.
it was like low 600,000, if I remember correctly. They're not growing their audience.
Yeah.
No.
They're not trying to. They're also not making it seem like they're trying to grow their audience. That's the other problem. It's very much like a.
That, though.
No, well, here's what I mean though. Like, if you watch AEW, you're assumed to be watching New Japan, watching ROH, watching all of these things. They don't really break it down like, oh, hey, if you don't know who this guy is, like, this is what he's done and blah, blah. Like, they don't really do that. It's just like, oh, this is so-and-so from Japan. You all know who he is. Watch and I'm like, dude, I don't watch New Japan. Like, just because I don't, again, we've had this conversation 1,000 times. I work 50 plus hours a week. Like, I'm already investing 3, 5,
10 plus
7.
hours.
Right. I'm already investing a ton of hours. I'm not going out of my way to go stream something every now and like I know of certain wrestlers, but I can't tell you how many matches of theirs that I've seen beforehand.
Yeah.
So like when you're like, oh, so and so, and they were like, if you would have went like, hey, this was a bit like, if you're not familiar with this man, he spent the last 20 years in New Japan and blah 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 blah, and he had classic matches with so and so and da da da. Cool. Now I'm invested in this person. There's no investment for either the casual fan or you're shit on for being a casual fan.
Yeah.
And there's no like. It's just like oh, you should know who this is. Like we're just talking to you under the assumption you already know who all these people are. Here you go. And outside of like the old, but the ex like WWE guys, how much of the people that are trying to tune into your product, how are they going to know who these people are without any explanation?
Yeah.
That and they don't market their shit at all.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a big issue.
The big complaint that I've been seeing their attendance numbers are in the shits right now. They can't fill any arena they go to, which is a shame because and you could chalk that up to ticket prices are what they are. We've had this conversation. We had this conversation 2 weeks ago about they run the same like 10 fucking cities.
Yeah.
But they're also not like putting it out there like, oh, hey, we're going to be in this place in, December, blah, 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 blah. Book your tickets now. We're going to be over here. Like, where are they next week? Nobody knows.
They have to handle it like
people
almost.
In town don't really know. That's the problem. Like, they're not.
Next week.
Was it Texas? I think they were in Kansas.
Look at I got the fucking list up.
No, they're going to Texas, Tennessee, and then Ohio again.
I thought they were in Kansas.
I feel like they just left.
They're in Kansas. They were in Kansas last week.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw something about they were going to be like, hey, like they're going to be in Kansas, like fucking market to the universities right there. Yeah. Market to these people. Hey, listen, we're running a show like on fucking Wednesday. Come watch the show, blah blah blah. Or maybe it was their Saturday show. I don't know. But market your fucking shit. Like, get off of Twitter unless you're marketing the fact that you're gonna be in town.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing that? You're expecting people to just know where you're gonna be without you. Like, you have to bring in people. That's it. Like, the people that are watching every week regardless. You're not growing your viewership in any capacity. You could sit here and say, okay, yeah, the All-In show, that was a one-off show.
And what have you done with it since?
You would have hoped, and I would have hoped that they would have built from that. Yeah. Like, they had a lot of eyes on it, a lot of pay-per-view buys, obviously a lot of people in this. They had 70,000+ people, 80, whatever
number it was.
The number is still an impressive number, and then they come back to the U.S. and they do 3,000 people, and it's like, fuck, dude. Like, the memes are out there with Edge. He went to the one side. He went to the one side, and he's like, oh yeah, and then he went to go to the other side, realized nobody was over there, and like stopped short, and then just went down the ramp, and it was like, oh fuck, like that's kind of brutal. And then you're seeing like pictures of him in the ring, like doing a promo, and there's nobody there, and you're like,
"Is it COVID?"
Right,
hell,
like
hell, I think they had more people during COVID than they seem to have, right now.
It's brutal, and that's the thing for me. That's the biggest takeaway. Like, I just don't feel like they're growing their audience. Again, you're the bigger AEW guy. This is why I was saving this for.
The way I see it like this, it's a number of factors. If Vince was still in charge of creative, they might have had a bigger growing. This is actually a problem because AEW was created as the alternative to WWE.
Yeah, the anti-Vince equation.
And this is when WWE was like really shitty. So it was easy to build an audience then because the alternative was a shit show.
A lot of disgruntled fans. Yeah.
Exactly. So as you move along, Vince got pushed out. Triple H, who was pretty much everyone's favorite at the time, got more power. So now he's booking the shows. Now everything's actually good. But AEW still
most
for the most part.
Yeah.
NXT is actually running. NXT is really the top of the bar right now. Sean is really booking. But
Booker of the Year, baby. Let's go. No.
I wouldn't do all that. Not yet. Fucking Rocky Romero is the fucking wrestling guy of the year.
Yeah.
But it just seems like they coasted on the fact that they were the alternative. They collected their audience, and they're fine with that.
And they just sat there, right? Well, and that was my point. Yeah. Like, it's like, hey, we got these guys over, and then it was like, all right, we're just gonna put on the same show, right? Like, we had this conversation, I think the first or second episode, when we were talking about Bully Ray's comments, where it's like he books matches, he doesn't really book
storylines.
The show, right? Like, we're not growing the show. We're not invested in these people. Yes, these people have great matches, but beyond that, like, and again, we can argue the great matches. The Young Bucks have the same match every time they have a match, right? They do the same spot where I think it's Nick does the face plant thing, backflips through the middle rope, backflips onto the guy outside. It's the same shit every week, right?
Yeah.
How many Canadian destroyers did they do in that triple threat match?
Yeah.
Was it a triple threat? Yeah, that within fucking 45 seconds of each other. Like,
but you're right with the whole people not knowing. Like, a casual wrestling fan coming to AEW and trying to explain half of AEW's roster being, well, they're not technically AEW, they're CMLL, and then there's AAA.
Well, shit. I mean, I've joked with you guys. The only ones I ever know are the TNA guys or the Lucha Underground guys, or
trying to explain Forbidden Door's Forbidden Door. Like, how many people? What's the cat? Let's say someone was watching WWE and wanted to see what the alternative, and they're watching Forbidden Door. How the fuck are you supposed to explain Okada?
Who's a big deal, right? Yeah. Like, these guys are big fucking deals.
But to an average fan, like, who are
but
these
like,
people?
If me and you were hanging out, and I'm like, hey, I've never watched this before, like AEW, and then I'm watching the show with you, and you're just marking out about fucking, Okada, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like everybody's pumping him up, right? Everybody's pumping him up to be this big thing. But like, if I've never watched him before, and I watched the 2 Kenny Omega matches, and I've watched some of his other matches, and I'm a fan of his work. But again, it's a very limited knowledge. I have more knowledge than the casual fan, sure. But like, if somebody's tried to sit down and watch your show because they just love wrestling, right? Oh, I love WWE. They're not on Wednesdays. All right, I see this thing. What's this going? Oh, hey, Chris Jericho's here. Or, oh, hey, Dean Ambrose is here, and now he's Jon Moxley. Okay, cool. Who the fuck are all these other guys? Like, but there's no explanation. It's just like, oh yeah, this is da da da, and it's like, oh, okay.
Because even explaining Jay White, like, well, what's the Bullet Club? Well, technically, Bullet Club is not an AEW thing; it's a New Japan thing. It's an All-Set because he got kicked out.
Should have been left in New Japan.
Yeah, but his contract was up in AEW.
No, I mean Bullet Club. I think Bullet Club should have stayed in New Japan because I think that's where you. For one, I think they partner with, as much as I understand, because it's still technically an indie scene in some degree, that you're partnering with Ring of Honor, you're partnering with TNA. it starts to get a little complicated of, okay, how many shows do I gotta watch to keep up with what the hell's going on?
Bullet Club itself is a convoluted thing now. It's the
Oh,
NWO
yeah.
all over again.
Because the only person that should have taken it outside of New Japan would have been Finn Balor.
Exactly.
That would have been the only one because he created it. I could see where that would have made the sense of, okay, he left New Japan.
Good
but
Brothers come over, AJ, and then
it was his idea, it was his game plan. Like, okay,
they started expanding with the Bucks because they were Ring of Honor, and then Adam Cole, then Hangman, like a lot of those ROH people.
But it's like you said. NWO did the same thing, and look what happened. You had a. Yeah. It's that concept that I don't feel like anybody understands besides WWE how to do a stable that lasts longer than
But honestly, Bullet Club did the most profits when they did the multi-promotion thing because they gained popularity during the Bucks.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's fine, hey, listen, they're partnered with New Japan and you're having Bullet Club guys come over and like, oh, okay, they can interact with these guys. But when your AEW guys are still calling themselves the Bullet Club Gold or the, this, and it's like, well, why? Just make a new, and now you got the Gun Boys in there, and it's like, well, now we're just getting all over the place with shit, and it's like,
I still love the entrance though.
Their entrance is fantastic.
It's basically the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I mean it's
They can't go to New Japan because technically Jay White is banned from New Japan because of the Eddie Kingston match. But the thing is, I think what AEW's lacking is its story. Like long telling stories, because they have those they have those moments that like just by chance work out as a story,
right?
As long-term story. But you have people that can do long-term storytelling. You have and make people care. MJF, Adam Cole, Eddie Kingston. I know you hate him, but still, Eddie Kingston can make people care.
No, and because that's a guy that can talk himself. He could talk people into the building if he wanted. Like, if they give him enough time, he could talk people into the building. I understand that they want to be
Ortiz.
They want to be the anti-WWE, and I get that. Like, but you should focus more on just being AEW than being anti-WWE. Yeah. You should focus more on, because this is where WCW fucked up, where they just focused so heavily on getting one over on WWE and taking pot shots at them all the time. Same thing with TNA when they tried to go head to head with WWE back in 2010.
Yeah, it was 2010.
Yeah, that was because Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan were the top guys.
Well, and it was fucking idea. And it's that same thing though. Is they're successful until they start doing that. Yeah, them just doing what they're doing will compete. That's because that's even like AEW. When AEW started being televised, they started with good storylines. You had kind of the Cody Rhodes family versus the the Jericho and Elites, and that storyline went well. And then it just, for some reason, I don't understand. I don't really remember when it happened, but just the stories became less and less a part of what was going on. It's just like, oh yeah, let's let these two guys fight.
It started when Omega. It started with the Impact thing. I think it fell off the rail at that. When Kenny was the belt collector and he started collecting belts from different companies, he was AAA champion.
Yep.
He was Impact World Champion with 2 belts.
Yep.
Because they had joined. They had just unified
Roman Reigns
titles.
The Impact and the TNA title.
He did it first, and then the AEW championship because Christian had just came in.
Right, and that was a weird thing too, because he had just signed with AEW and then was on Impact like 2 weeks later wrestling for the Impact title, and it was like, dude,
no, he won it on AEW though.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it was
weird.
Like, you're defending an Impact, and that's cool if they're working together, right? Like, I don't mind that, but when you're
maybe not use other industries,
like
matches.
Don't have your guy fucking, like, why would you, as if I was running Impact, I would never let my guy lose the title to a guy not signed to my company.
Yeah, because Rich Swann was champion.
Right, unless my guy was going to win the AEW title in like a we fucked you because you fucked us kind of thing, right? Like they, for as much as it was the same company at that point, but the Invasion story where like so and so won the WCW title, but then so and so won the WWF title. Like if you were doing that, but like you just made Impact look like the minorest of minor leagues by having two guys come in and be champion of your company that have nothing to do with your company.
I mean, with Christian, it gets leeway because he was like he was at one point TNA.
Yes, and was a former, well,
NWA
still
champion.
NWA champion when it was before they went to before they stopped doing the NWA deal. Because I think he was out of the company by the time they switched to the TNA title, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But Kenny Omega making his debut as coming over to take the Impact title on Impact, like making his Impact debut as an AEW champion to take the Impact.
And then I think the idea was because there were reports that certain AEW stars were gonna go over to TNA and then take losses. I think Sammy Guevara was one, and then something fell out. I think he wanted to win and he just left. He pretty much left the event.
Yeah,
I think that was gonna be for the X Division Championship or something, some dumb thing like that.
But like, let the Impact guys come over to AEW shows and like
the only Impact guys that wrestled on AEW were the Good Brothers. That's only because they were close with Kenny and the Bucks.
Because they were doing the story where it was like the Bullet Club, right?
Well,
so they were kind of
super elite.
Yeah, they weren't calling it the Bullet Club, but it was that like they were just kind of in the ring because that's when I remember specifically they were there when like Cole debuted.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I forgot that they were like not signed to AEW but like hanging out in AEW.
Because AJ was supposed to be signed to AEW. That was a thing that could have happened, but he chose to re-sign with WWE.
Right.
Like he would have been on the first episode of Dynamite. That's how it was.
Can we talk about fans referring to AEW as home for wrestlers who've never been to AEW before? Because I remember that whole thing with AJ, and they're like, "Come home, AJ," and it's like, to TNA. That was
wrong company, bro.
Yeah,
they've been saying it about like they say it about like Finn. They're like, "Oh, come home, Finn." And I'm like,
they refer to it home as real wrestling.
Yeah,
that's what it is. But this is the thing that gets
it's no less sports entertainment than WWE.
Just because you
in
call
the sense
it something
of
else.
Right, like okay, if you were having 6 Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. matches per night, where it was like technical wrestling, catch can style, like that old school, and you called that the professional wrestling show, that's fine.
But it's not.
But that's not what you're doing.
You're doing 6 Canadian destroyers. And
you're doing Attitude Era style promos, but like you're getting away with more shit. Don't get me wrong. Christian telling Edge to go fuck himself was hilarious. That was great. But like when you're relying on bad words to kind of get things over or things like that, it's not professional wrestling. It's sports entertainment in the same style that WWE is.
Yeah.
If anything, NXT is a professional wrestling show with some sports entertainment to it. Like
thinking about how is Jade? What are the chances that Jade slips up?
What do you mean? And says a no word?
Yeah, because her thing in AEW was she was the bitch. Like she was that bitch, and her thing was cut the shit with Tony Schiavone.
I'm wondering.
The chances she lets one of those slip.
She already did it on Twitter, so that's not gonna. If she just keeps it to Twitter, I think it'll be okay.
Because WWE is like a PG show.
Yes. Every now and again, they throw like little things in there, and you're like,
Sasha Banks saying "bitch" is the funniest thing in the world to me. If you've never heard her,
it feels so forced.
Yeah.
It feels so. Yeah. It was like, do I have permission to say it? Bitch. And it's like, what the fuck?
It's like a kid saying it for the first time.
Practice? Yeah. Practice it first. Go practice. Go in the mirror.
Like, AEW is so weird. Like, everyone's gonna discount. If you're not an AEW fan and you're just coming back into wrestling, you're just gonna see it as discount WWE. Because I've heard that. I've heard that from people before. Oh, I'm watching, like, I'll be at work and I'm watching like an AEW clip, and someone will be like, "Oh, is that WWE?" No, it's not. It's like it has monopolized wrestling. So no matter what, your first thought is gonna be WWE. So you're already fighting an uphill battle. So why poke the bear at this point? Just say, this is what we're doing. Let's build an audience from there, and then down the line, see where it goes.
From what I understood, that was kind of the whole thing. Like Triple H and Sean were just like, all right, we're gonna little bro this guy because like fuck you. Like if you're gonna get on here and just run your mouth about us, we're gonna fuck you up.
Like the two worst people to get in a run your mouth contest with.
Sean and Hunter.
Yeah. If you think you're gonna out petty those two guys, ask anybody that was in the WWF locker room in the '90s about how that works out.
We got old school Sean back.
Yeah.
Sean forgot about God for a little bit there.
He put the cross down. Said, "Fuck it."
Sean didn't have to lose his smile to be a petty bastard. Like it's okay. He's still petty now, even with all the shit going on. Like I just don't like focus on your product. Like that's what I want for them. I want them to be a true alternative in the sense of the only people that should be making references to WWE are Max Caster and fucking Anthony Bowen. Like that's it.
No, I like the tongue-in-cheek versions of like when they reference another promotion, like Kenny Omega saying, "You had me on the edge of my seat."
Right? No. I get that. That's if you're doing it like tongue-in-cheek wise and fun wise, that's one thing. But when you're like trying to just say shit and Christian's over here talking about like he threw a shot at the whole Judgment Day thing, and it's like, bro, you have Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like calling shots with our groups here.
Adam Copeland calling fucking Ricky Stark a vanilla midget version of The Rock.
Right, and it's like
MJF did this like a year ago, man.
Right?
Can we stop calling this man the Pebble?
Yeah,
Pebble.
Like it's just focus on making your shit better.
Right? You know, I think AEW just needs to bring Maven back.
Lock off.
Smoothest drop kick in the biz.
On YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, since we just wrap up this week in geek in some fucking dumbass news. I don't know if y'all have heard this, but y'all ever heard of Jack Films?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got doxxed last night.
By who?
By SS Sniper Wolf.
Got him.
After fucking ragging on her for about the better part of 3 months, just saying her reaction content is shit, she decided to do the illegal thing and find out his address, post on her Instagram, should she go there, and post an image of his house in full view. Well, funny enough, he was live streaming with his wife during this time.
Yes, he was.
And found out as they were streaming and ended the stream. What she did is completely uncalled for, and this is a prime, like, butthurt feeling.
Yep.
It doesn't help that she's also getting sued by her ex-husband for the creative content, for the shitty content that she makes and half of her money.
Yep.
Which is, according to the fucking lawsuit, it's all him doing this shit, and she's just the face of it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
You took 2 L's in a week from 2 different angles.
Wasn't that the whole like Amaranth thing for a while, where like the boyfriend or whoever was like the one secret, the husband or boyfriend was the one like pretty much doing all of the content, but she was just the face or some shit.
Amaranth there was no real content. It's just her face.
Right, that is the content. Trust me.
With Sniper Wolf,
and then she was like, "Oh, I'm getting away from that content," and then like back 2 weeks later, it was like, "Just kidding, I'm doing the same content I always was doing."
But with Sniper Wolf, it was more like it started out with gameplay because she was in the Call of Duty community and got called out for faking gameplay. Yeah, where he was playing and she would just talk over, and and she would deny it to her dying breath. And in the course, he basically confirmed that was the case.
Yeah.
And basically said he was making the layout of all this reaction content and typed up scripts for her to read off.
Got him.
Like none of this is genuine.
Idiot.
That's brutal. Yeah,
that's right. I never liked her. She was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You might want to blur that one out.
Yeah, fuck it. Just say what.
No, that was a little aggressive.
That's fine. We don't have advertisements.
Yeah.
Okay. So
when you start paying me, I'll start watching what I say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Hey, and I ain't getting paid yet. What are you?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's and still until we start getting paid, I don't think we need to give a flying fuck about.
You know what, YouTube?
Yeah, but pay me and I'll take it back.
Yeah, this can be deleted.
I can scrub that part of the video. If you want. It's okay.
So Fastlane, thoughts? What would you rate it out of 5?
3 out of 5.
3? I'd say 4. I thought it was pretty good. There's only one match I didn't give a shit about, and I'm sure we'll guess which one it is.
LA Knight and John Cena.
Go fuck yourself. That was the best match. Or second best match.
Trying to think of what I think I would put it in the 3 to 3.5 out of 5 category. I think I would.
This is a 5-match card
which seemed oddly fewer than I would have expected.
But still was longer than I thought.
Yeah, like for a 5-match, like you feel like there should have been like 2 more, but also it went on almost 3 hours.
This is like a perfect takeover card. Yeah. Honestly.
If it was
especially with the last man standing match.
Yeah.
That fucking match.
I think that match went on too long.
But also the whole like, oh man, the babyface can go through hell. But if I put this dude through a table, he's done.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy just like murdered you.
Spit in your face.
For like 40 minutes. And then you were like, yeah, I'm just going to put him through a table real quick and that'll be the end. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. The ending was very anticlimactic. But
I hate the fact that they got rid of Damian Priest potentially cashing in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. You're getting ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking about the main event, so I might as well talk about that part.
Yeah.
Because it ties into it.
I guess it's fair.
What opened the show?
The tag match. The tag champs.
Yeah. Judgment Day versus Cody and Jay.
Which I will say was I thought was match of the night. I thought it was the best match to open the night.
It was a good match. Yeah.
I am surprised we saw the tag champs change. I did not think it was going to happen. I think it's oddly timed.
I could see it with after SmackDown this week. I can kind of understand why they did it.
Yeah.
You're getting Cody on SmackDown when Roman comes back. You're getting Jay on SmackDown as Roman comes back. Like I get it. If that was, I'm assuming that was the game plan because they do seem to do better long-term booking than Vince used to.
Yeah.
So I could understand that. I didn't expect it either. I thought fuckery was going to happen, and it did, but they still ended up winning. And it was more than worth it for that 10-minute fucking press conference part of their thing where they were both fucking toasted.
Man, that's probably the best press conference.
That fucking just them breaking down, just slowly but surely. We need more, just people just drinking before they come.
I think what made that even better is that Triple H was the one that followed that
and was like, kind of pumped about it.
He was like, what kind of shit is this that you're gonna make me follow these guys? Like, but then at one point goes, like that's the fucking
he can have fun of it. Like,
it's like, god damn, man. He's like, these guys are destroyed and I'm just gonna roll with it.
He seems like he's having so much more fun.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have Vince McMahon breathing down his neck.
Right. That whole that SmackDown segment with Dom cracked me up. When he kind of called out he's like, man, I thought they were piping that shit in. Like,
shit's really loud.
But they're really loud. Wow, they really don't like you. I was dying. I was like, oh my God. At least he like called attention to it because that is really funny. Because people were saying that for a while where it was like, Dom's not really getting that kind of heat. And like, nah, dude. Like, I'm watching people in the crowd like record videos of him literally just getting booed out of the fucking building, and it's great, good for him. But yeah, Triple H seems like he's having so much more fun though, and it's kind of happy to see that the fucking TKO CEO pretty much was like, yeah, this is your show, you run with it.
Yeah,
and we were
which is how it should have been.
Like
Vince was in
fuck
command.
Vince, bro. Like
who would have thought DX would have been the people to be in charge of them?
Yeah,
like, what a world, you know?
Because you have Road Dogg back there too.
Yeah, because what? Road Dogg's part of developmental, isn't he?
No, he's a
producer.
Is he full on producer now?
Didn't
I say this like 2 weeks ago, and he's been
a producer for he's been a producer for SmackDown for years. I know he got fired a couple of years ago, and then he got rehired when Triple H took over.
Oh, this was like when Triple H had his heart problem, and they tried to get rid of everybody.
So speaking of producers. This is I'm already getting off topic, but I'm gonna forget if I don't talk about this now because you brought up the producer part of it. So one of my favorite TikTok bits for the longest time was DIY and Bobby Roode.
Oh, the Glory Bomb.
Where they do the Glory Bomb. They fucking brought it back.
I was so
the producer's room.
Yeah, and it's Michael Hayes opens the door first, and it's just like, what the fuck? And he closes the door, and then Bobby Roode comes out, and he's just like, God damn it!
You make me do it again. You know what's funny about that?
I was so excited.
All those Glory Bomb videos were taped in one day.
Oh, I believe it, but they were all fantastic.
Yeah,
I still stand by him in a production, although I think he's good at it. I still wish Bobby Roode got like a good run push because I think he would be fine. And I'm a bit of a Bobby Roode fan because I was TNA. I was James Storm and Bobby Roode. I loved them, you know.
Beer money, baby.
He needs a better fucking finisher if they bring him back to the main roster. The DDT is just not.
Nah, I'm cool with the impact DDT, like the lifting DDT. I'm cool with that move because nobody does it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a regular DDT. Even Andrade had that the fucking
double hook,
the hook DDT like that. Okay, we're putting a different spin on it, so it's not just a regular DDT. I'm cool with that.
Because I'm trying to remember what his move was in TNA that he used to use.
Fisherman suplex.
Was that what it was? Just a fisherman?
Yeah.
I can't really.
And
do that
you're not you're not doing that in WWE. He had that like what the fuck was it? Before he was doing the DDT, he had like it wasn't a Death Valley Driver, but it was like Death Valley Driver Light, or it was like an AA with a neck breaker instead or something. It was weird, but it was like too similar to Cena. No, it wasn't the spin around cutter.
Oh, okay.
It was like a fisherman like neck breaker thing or something, but it looked too similar to the AA, so they made him change it. He would have been a guy that really benefited from had this whole thing with Vince happened 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think he'd got a bigger push.
He would have,
because even him and Ziggler, I like them as a tag team.
That grew on me, yes.
You know, that kind of like just almost beer money-esque, but instead of James Storm, it being Ziggler.
I'm always skeptical about like the thrown together teams of guys that were like feuding for a hot minute. The team that made me stop getting as skeptical about it was the Bar.
Yeah.
Like watching them go from.
See, I wasn't big on them.
They were.
They were bad. I just couldn't get behind them.
That was a. Hey, they were doing a best of 7 series, and then all of a sudden went. All right, let's go to the bar, have a drink, and like. All right, now we're friends, and I'm like, you know what? I could be okay with this, because then they were just a fun team to watch, and they were doing the fucking Dragon Ball Z like fusion thing for their entrance, and I was like, all right. You know what? You guys won me over. Like,
I still remember when DIY was put together to face the Bar, and they got the loudest reaction of that night.
Yep.
backstage.
And that's the thing. Like the bar had some really good tag matches. Like when, like their Survivor Series match with Rollins and Ambrose was really good.
And Cesaro lost his front teeth.
Oh, that's right. That is.
Was that match?
Yeah.
Oh no, they were facing the Usos.
Oh,
I thought it was
okay.
Yep.
Is it the Usos?
I remember this because they brought up the whole Iron Man thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sheamus kicking Jeff Hardy's tooth out.
Fuck him.
Oh man.
Let's see.
I did see, and this is just kind of going back to something we were talking about with Sean and
No,
Hunter.
it is.
Go ahead.
It is during the Rollins Ambrose match.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
Rollins does it. I mean, Ambrose does it. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying. I kind of.
He does the slingshot, and Cesaro overshot it and cracked his mouth on the. Yeah. Oh, that was rough to watch because I watched that live and I was like, oh my god.
But I did, speaking of just like kind of internet wrestling things, I saw they were doing I guess a podcast or it was a clip I saw, but it was Triple H, it was Shawn and a few others where they were talking about Shawn Michaels' finishers were the most protected finisher in WWE.
Oh, it was like a fucking Zoom or Discord call with Triple H, Undertaker, and
Shawn. It was Undertaker, and he's just like, sometimes it's you get the first wrap up, and then there's just a super kick.
It's before the tie up or whatever, and I was like, that's at least you acknowledge what a mess that has become.
Is there really that many people in WWE that do that besides the Usos, obviously?
Let's see.
Ziggler.
Usos.
So Ziggler, I think, because correct me if I'm wrong. Did they give that to him as kind of like he was going to be like the next Michaels?
At one point they made that the finish instead of the zigzag, which I was okay with
because he did the whole.
They were going to go that route. Yeah, if they were going to go that route, that's fine. But okay, so we're talking. I'm trying to see if I can do it off the top of my head. Kevin Owens does it. Both of the Usos do it. Seth does it.
Does Seth do a super kick?
Yes.
Wait, who? Yeah,
Rusev used to do it.
Rusev was because he did that running, jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of did the super kick. Adam Cole used to do it.
Yeah, I do remember Cole doing it.
Johnny Gargano used to do it.
Gargano.
I think he still does it.
That's true. God, man, I didn't think.
So him and his and Del Rio's when they're like kind of setting them up and they're like still on the floor. That's fine. That's like, not the same as just a regular standing
like the crouching super kick where it's them on their knees.
That's fine. Even if we're just talking right now, WWE. Both of the Usos, Owens. I've seen Cody do it. Seth does it.
Cody's looks bad. I do not like Cody's super kick.
His super kick was just not fun. That was not good to watch.
I saw. It reminds me of I don't know why I did when I saw it. So there's a bit from Rush Hour where they use their real names instead, like accidentally in a blooper. And in my mind, I'm thinking he's going for things like, "All right, Jimmy, come on!" And it's Cody. It's just like, oh wait, shit, wrong guy. And like, just try your best.
I do like that modified 1D Cody Cutter thing. Although they did pull that off pretty well. Like they did make it look pretty good.
I didn't like it against Owens.
Yeah.
The ones with Owens didn't look great. The one with Judgment Day did look good.
Yeah.
And the one on Jimmy looked good.
Because I almost feel like he still has to do, because it almost looks like he sets him up for like a
heart attack.
Like, yeah. And
Cody has to be on perfect timing to get that right.
Well, I think they need to almost do like a 1D and lift him a bit more from like the waist, not so much the stomach.
I think the problem is Jay is not looking. He can't time this perfectly because he's not looking at Cody.
Yeah.
Cody will always be behind him, so he has to literally time when to just fall back and drop.
But in all fairness, I don't feel like they ever landed the 1D that well. I think half the time it didn't look like it. There was a timing issue of just like, they wouldn't hit the cutter just right, where, I mean, shit, there wasn't a time the Dudleys did it that it didn't look like the most devastating fucking move. I do think it's weird they randomly threw that to the Usos. I don't, like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I do like it. I think it just needs to be honed in a bit. So second bet, I believe, to me, the second best match of the night is a tie between the Rey Mysterio match and the Cena match.
I have a problem with the LWO match.
Okay, what is it?
I hate this spot of them building up to the tag partner, and half the matches them working over into a handicap match just for Carlito to come running out for the save. Hate that spot.
I do think it ended too quickly after Carlito came out.
No, because that just makes Carlito look like a dickhead of just ignoring calls.
Hey,
and like this is multiple. This is built up from, oh well, Friday I text you, and now it's Saturday.
Gotta catch a flight, man.
It was funny because Ray did sell that, like, even in the victory, and he was kind of looking at him like, "Yeah, what the fuck?" Like,
yeah, like, nah, that makes you look like a dickhead.
If it sets it up for Carlito to end up being a heel, I get it.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like that.
I feel like Carlito has to be a heel. Like, I just don't.
Also, unpopular opinion, I don't hate his new entrance music. I don't.
I think it's just.
I don't. I still wish it was the old one.
Yes.
I think not for that moment. The old one fits because you get that return pop because you know who it is.
But they did that.
Debut the new music right then and there. People are gonna go, wait, who is that?
Because the only reason I knew it was him was because it said his fucking name on the ring.
Exactly.
No, he had a similar entrance though. Like the I'm sorry, not entrance, but the similar opening. Something about he said something about being cool, and it was like, oh shit, like, we know who that is. Like, nobody else says that. Like that. Okay,
I spit in the face
of people who be cool. But no, so is he like officially back?
Yeah, he's been signed for a while.
Been signed for
well, I know he did like the bit, when they did the Puerto Rican show.
No, he was signed then.
Okay, so I wasn't sure. I hadn't seen.
I think they signed him during, like, after that show, or like right before that.
Because I'll say the dude's in great shape for being late 30s, probably, give or take.
He's in that age range because he was in.
He's somewhere around there. Yeah.
I mean, he to me looks in better shape than he did.
Yep.
At least like. I mean, he was in shape, but like more of an actual wrestler shape, not just being like muscular.
Yeah.
God, and I'll give it to him.
He's 44.
Seriously.
Yep, that makes sense.
God, how is it some of these older guys look better than some of the people?
I mean, you have to remember he was wrestling in 20
DDP yoga. Hey, that shit works. All right, it is. There is something, I don't know what magic voodoo he does with that shit, but like my back never felt better after doing that shit for like a year. But no, I mean the backstabber I thought was sold amazingly. I think because my issue with that move is if you don't sell it right, it doesn't look like it does anything. And
Montez is the guy that's gonna sell.
Oh yeah. I'm conflicted about this match because I wanted Montez and them to win. Because we're making them heels, but having them lose almost every match.
They've already lost twice in the last month. On like, you can chalk this up to surprise Carlito return. Okay, great. You're making him look good. It didn't necessarily make them look bad.
I do think if this was their first loss, I'd be less upset about it.
Yeah, I thought that they lost too soon, and they were teasing the whole split too soon. But this was fine. This was a fine match.
I do like Vega doing the double knee down to Montez. I thought that was a nice little kind of throw her in there.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought overall it was a good match. I understand where you're coming from, Porto, about the the handicap into him finally coming in. My only issue is from him entering the match and it ending was too soon.
Yeah.
I think the match should have gone on a little bit longer because it's literally he hits the ring and I think maybe 5 minutes go by and it ends.
I don't even think it went that long.
Yeah, and I'm probably being generous.
I would say probably in the 2 to 3 minute range from him coming back.
Because he does his initial bit with Montez, gets Dawkins out of the ring.
You good over there?
I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
And then Santos hits an amazingly executed corner dive. I always get nervous seeing those because I'm just waiting for somebody to trip and eat it into the fucking pole. Kind of like Zayn did on his little fucking roundabout because he's messed that up before, where he like goes through the pole itself to do the DDT. I want to like Santos. I just can't get invested unless they turn him heel.
He's better as a heel.
Yep.
If you turn them heel, Zelina and Santos fucking run promos on everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See,
those
I didn't.
Two
yeah.
alone. Because Zelina does a great heel promo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Santos can do a great heel promo. Like his heel work in NXT was great.
Yep.
Because he was basically a cartel boss.
Yep. They made him a real big deal.
Exactly.
He was a real big deal in NXT.
Gotcha.
So just a quick tangent. Why I started laughing. The Halo World Cup is just ended. FaZe Clan won. Who gives a shit about FaZe Clan? What they were showing right when they won was a guy holding up a FaZe up sign. And then perfectly timed was a guy putting up a picture of FaZe's stock crashing down in front of the store.
God.
Like fucking got him.
Oof.
Till the end, man. Jesus.
Brutal.
But oh yeah, the triple threat match that was what it was.
Yeah.
Was that your least favorite match?
Least favorite match. And I know what the viewers are, because it's women. No, it's not because it's women.
No,
because they're all fucking boring. That's what they.
No, it's not even that they're all boring. It's Charlotte.
Charlotte's boring.
Charlotte is boring. Because Io and Asuka put on a great match 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or a week or two. I don't remember.
It was 2 weeks.
My weeks are all fucked up. But they had a really good one-on-one match. But with these Charlotte matches, man, they just make her look so unstoppable. And I get it to a point. She is a big star. It's the daughter of Ric Flair, yada, yada. But man, when she's just like kind of no-selling or just overpowering both women at the same time, you're like, fuck, dude. Like, I at no point thought that Io was going to retain. I at no point thought Asuka was going to win. The way they kept booking that match, I was like, oh my God, Charlotte's going to run away with this match. She's getting all the good offense in. She almost hit that moonsault finally.
Did she, though?
She landed.
Every moonsault, she lands before she makes fucking contact with either of them.
And that was the thing, because that weekend it was Wrestle Dream. So everyone's comparing moonsaults between it was her
and Adam Page and
it was her, Io, and Julia Blackheart.
At least Io can hit a fucking moonsault though.
Oh yeah, but no, watch her in fucking Lucha Underground. Fucking murder. Lucha Underground Io Shirai is fucking fun to watch. Just go back and watch that for a second. But yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah, it's great.
She just lands on her feet, and it's just so awkward because now you have to land on your feet and then fall. Like
it's like a Power Ranger show. It's like it's to the
like she's fucking wired.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's
impressive that you can do a backflip like that neat, but fuck.
The best part of that match was 5 seconds in, Charlotte just getting fucking misted. Just the only way it would have been better is if, but this leads to a complaint I have, is that if Io and her both would have misted her at the same time,
that
would have been amazing.
Nah,
now my other tangent with that, and this kind of leads with Shinsuke. There are too many people in the wrestling business that do the mist.
I'm just gonna butt in. Why would Io do the mist? Because she's Japanese.
Yes, but in my defense, do you know anybody besides House of Black?
Okay. Because I had them right there in the pocket, like ready. You about to say
Tajiri,
okay.
Asuka, Shinsuke. Okay. I forget. There's one they
Shinsuke
just had in the Hall of Fame who I cannot remember offhand.
Great Muta.
Great Muta, thank you.
That's where it came from.
That's the reason why.
I know.
Asuka and Shinsuke do it.
I get it.
It's a reference to the Great Muta.
I don't.
Io doesn't have that time.
I get. I'm just saying. I wasn't saying that she should. I was just saying it would have been funny.
You guys are forgetting the GOAT though, man. Lord Tensai used to do it too.
Oh yeah, he's not Japanese.
Which is funny though, because he used to do it into his hand and then do the claw.
Oh yeah.
It's literally what Asuka does at one point to Bianca. She did it into her hand and
then rubbed the mist into her eyes though. But that was like raking the eyes.
See, that's cool though. I would absolutely be more okay if that was like a finish, where you do the iron claw with the like that's cool. Has Shinsuke done it before, or do I just not? Okay, so this was like
that was a one-time thing.
I think that's my issue with it, is that it's something just super random that is not part of like the character. It's like Asuka, you could always assume she's gonna do it at some point. Now, you know, and Tajiri was the same way. That was a big part of Tajiri's gimmick, and I thought he did it very well.
The thing I don't like about the mist though, with this match specifically, she had to use clear mist. She had to just use water, basically.
Was it clear? I thought it had blue to it.
It was like blue dye.
Blue-ish, but it's not as prominent as
the green mist.
As it used to be. Even when she was doing blue, like you could tell someone got misted.
Yeah,
I think they did
it was like really muddy. It also missed her quite a bit.
Yeah, because they didn't want to do the whole match with Charlotte covered in blue.
But my other issue with that is doing it at the start seems a little odd, because that's always usually used as a
ending,
close to the end.
Had it been that it took her out of the match,
that'd have been fine.
For the match,
yeah, I'd have been fine with that. Then it'd be an Io and her,
She's gonna rematch next Friday.
Or even like a Kurt thing where like they knock Kurt out halfway through the match and then he comes back staggering, not knowing where he's at.
No, like the DX versus John Cena for the WWE title. When the match starts.
Oh yeah, and he just fucking super kicks Triple H
right out of the match. Yeah.
And John Cena's just looking like the perfect frame of him just shocked.
The best part of that is the following week where they talk about it. And it's just like, I just thought you were gonna do it to me first, like.
I mean, with their track record, it was one had to go.
Yeah.
God, as much as like PGDX was not as good as original DX, they still had some fucking great jokes. I just super kicked Stan or Dan or whatever it was.
That was Stan.
Well, that was still pre PG.
Well, I guess technically it was. It was,
and that was also Sean Spears that got kicked in the face.
Was it really? I don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I think they referenced it when he was in NXT or something.
God.
Yeah. That 06 run wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very memorable run. I mean,
it wasn't their 97 run.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, come on. They got away with a lot of shit with
I guess the cock
jokes. And then, which they temporarily brought back for that one show, which was really funny.
Well, I like if you ever watch, like, they talk about, like, USA sending them, like, cease and desist letters, and they're just like, nah, like, we don't care.
Bill Clinton thing. Yeah, that Bill Clinton speech for the classic 97 DX. That shit was fantastic.
Yeah. And we can't forget the Croc.
We absolutely can.
All right, let's finish up Fastlane. Cena and LA Knight. I think Cena looks, and it's probably because he is contracted right now, and like you said, Porto, there's a writer strike, so it's not like he's getting a ton of
actor strike now.
Or yeah, I think he looks better now than he did facing Austin Theory at WrestleMania. Like physique wise, in ring wise, he looks better. I wish he would get some Just for Men because the bald spot's distracting.
Well, Just for Men's the anti-graying thing. You're talking about like the Rogaine.
Or Rogaine, yeah. Sorry, Rogaine's the word.
Yeah, he could hit up Chavo. Chavo was on.
Yeah, a little spray paint. Just
like Anthony Bowens.
Just a little dab, so weird. Just get a little dab. Chavo with this.
He was on one of those Rogaine ads. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll bring this up again. I hate LA Knight's finisher.
I'm sold on it, man.
I hate it.
I think he preps it. Finale. I think he preps it fine. I think as long as they sell it well, it looks effective.
I just saw a clip of him hitting Roman with it, and Roman sold the fuck out of it because Roman's an underrated seller.
Yeah.
For sure. But I watched that clip, and Roman made it look really good too. I think what happened in the beginning with it. He's now hit I think all of them with it.
The only one I think that he hits it on that doesn't look good solo. I think solo's to me the only one that doesn't sell it very well, which I don't think he sells much of anything very well.
I think it was a Kansas City show where like the bloodline literally run through it. He just keeps hitting everyone with the BTF.
That's great.
BFT, yeah.
BLT. I guess we can go ahead and move into, well, no, that would have been Friday, but
the weird week of wrestling.
Yeah, we'll do this out of order because we're already talking about that, so we might as well just go ahead and do SmackDown a little bit. I do find that promo was very underwhelming on LA Knight's part.
Yeah, it got cut. I don't know if it got cut. It didn't get cut short, but like it felt like it got cut short. Like he was gonna tie into stuff and then nothing. It was like a nothing sandwich. Like nothing really happened. It was all right. We're gonna hype this up for a second.
Because I do like Reigns' little comeback where he's like, oh, good job. I left you here for months and now they say your name, and it's like, oh shit. Like that's actually pretty good,
Yeah.
I do feel it is too early to put him up against Reigns.
I don't think it's early. It's better that they do it in Saudi Arabia for him to eat that loss.
Because it's kind of a nobody gives a shit show of like.
Yeah, that and the Saudi Arabia crowd might not be as vocal and loud as a States side crowd.
Yeah, I definitely thought they were going to go United States champion for a while.
Nah.
Just to give him a shot of being.
The bullet, saying he loses now. And then it builds up to something down the line. He might, because who is the U.S. champion? Oh no,
that's right.
LA Knight versus Logan Paul down the line.
I don't want to see that.
I actually
it would be fun.
I just and I'm the wrestling stan on this one. I don't fucking like Logan in anything. Not to say that it's because his in ring. I think as somebody that jumped into this as like he did, he performs better than I expected. I just don't think he fits. And that's my issue with
pretty well in a WWE setting.
Yeah.
Like he's enough of that. He's like what they expected Ronda Rousey to be. He's an attraction when he shows around.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
The numbers kind of go up because you want to see Logan get his ass kicked, honestly.
And I think if almost like, I tell you what pisses me off the most, hate the right hand being his fucking finisher.
The fucking WMD?
Yeah, because he's never won by knockout before.
For Big Show, it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's a
he's fucking
500-pound
huge.
man fucking punching you.
I
Yeah.
totally believe if he absolutely took a swing at me, he would knock me out.
Logan Paul.
I don't believe that Logan Paul would knock me out first shot. I don't.
But no, I think they might do that. He loses at Crown Jewel, right? Logan wins at Crown Jewel.
So if they confirm, I know they called him out.
No, it's not confirmed. I'd say they confirm it on Friday.
Okay.
They'll probably confirm it on Friday. Give that a build.
What, have Ray drop the belt to
Logan in Saudi Arabia, and then have him go on this run? And it's like you have the megastar LA Knight versus the self-proclaimed megastar of the YouTube megastar of Logan Paul, and then have him win the US belt off.
Yeah, because they already had that interaction for Money in the Bank. So
yeah, so it's a perfect setup.
I got a map right here for you could stick all those bottles of brown. Look at the adjective.
The promo battle would be okay.
Yeah, I mean,
decent.
I don't know. I don't know what it is per se that I just don't like about Logan being in it.
He's a dick. He's a dickhead.
A lot of these guys are dickheads. I just.
I look at Logan Paul. I look at Logan Paul the same way I used to look at Kanye before he had a full-on breakdown. I hate him as a human being, but I respected what he was doing in terms of, I loved Kanye's music for a long time until it got really shitty, and just hated Kanye as a human being. But those first 4 albums were fantastic. Logan Paul, fantastic in the ring. I just can't stand him as a human being.
Yeah.
Him or his brother. So
still hasn't paid people back for that scam though.
He won't.
Yeah. He won't. Oh yeah, no. But yeah, that's my prediction going forward. And also it ties back to the first match of the tag belt. The reason why Cody and Jay won is because they're setting up for War Games, and Judgment Day being part of that.
Like a Bloodline Judgment Day versus.
Yeah, because they build up Judgment Day and Bloodline being together.
Well, then who's going to be War Games on the other side of it? So you would have Cody, Jay,
Sammy, Kevin.
Even though they've separated them.
Yes, because I don't think it'll be Raw versus SmackDown. That's the thing.
It'll just be them versus.
Yeah. So
are we thinking a full 5-on-5 or 4-on-4?
5-on-4.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they usually do 5-on-5.
So who are we thinking fifth? I mean, if you're doing Cody, Jay, Sammy, Kevin,
and then it's
LA Knight,
Damian, Dom.
I think you might do LA.
Yeah.
LA Knight or Cena, which I mean, I guess not Cena at this point because he's kind of handing it off to.
I think it's either one. Cena, if they can get Cena, if
Cena at a War Games.
The strike still. Cena, if the actor strike still goes on. LA Knight, if it looks like it's about to end.
I don't know.
I think
Cena could do a War Games match. That was my thing.
No. Well, I mean, you can
work your way around.
I guess have him be the last one to come in.
I mean, Jericho did a blood and guts match. Cena can do a War Games match.
Right. Okay. That you can kind of hide him in a corner, getting the shit kicked out of him, and then with those kinds of matches, there's a lot of just kind of laying around and waiting for things to happen.
So Priest, Dom,
Balor,
and
Jimmy,
Jimmy. Yeah.
And then you have Cody, Jay, Sammy, Kevin,
and then the
Cena / Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight would be probably the more logical choice.
Yeah.
And then you have Bloodline win because KO turns on Cody.
Really? You think a KO turn after separating?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, man. I feel like he does a good job as a face.
Not full turn. He just says, "Fuck you, Cody." Stuns him and leaves.
I guess, yeah. I wouldn't be out of character. Well, speaking of that, so yeah, Owens is the mystery partner that's been traded that didn't get traded for 4 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm okay with him going heel if that's the case. He's been on a face run for
2 years.
Yeah,
like
all that time
4.
facing.
Like 4.
Is it 4? Or really? Has it been that long?
Since the pandemic, because he was facing Roman.
I guess that's true. Yeah, he was Roman versus.
And he was facing Seth when Seth went heel with the AOP and all that stuff. Like,
yeah.
Oh God, what happened to them?
They did a scam.
Of course they did. I know they got injured at one point, and then
they got released, and then they did a wrestling show that was like advertised like Nia Jax and some other people.
Oh,
no one got paid.
Control Your Narrative.
No.
At least Control Your Narrative. They would have actually put on a show.
Yeah.
This was like legit. They just took the money and never.
How many shows did they put on? Did they put on what, 3 shows?
Or Control Your Narrative?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, in the TGI Friday parking lot.
4 shows. Yeah.
There's a Chili's or something, I think is what it was from what I saw. But and then SmackDown announces new GM Magnus. At least that's what I know him. Nick Aldis.
I just know him as Nick Aldis.
I'm surprised they went GM route. I would have thought. Does he not wrestle anymore?
He does. He can.
Yeah.
Wonder why they went GM.
Adam Pearce can wrestle too, but
he's not.
I guess that's true.
He's not like a Bobby Roode where like he's not medically cleared kind of thing. He can do it. I think maybe they'll tease that at some point. I would love to see him wrestle.
Because I always thought he was impressive in TNA. So I mean, yeah. And then Jade Charlotte, which I get the feeling is where that's gonna go. I could be wrong.
Yep.
And then,
I mean, at some point, that might be a WrestleMania thing,
yeah,
which would be fine too.
Other than that, there really wasn't much SmackDown wise.
I will say that Roman being on the show has made me realize how much I missed Roman being consistently on the show.
They don't have any real stars when he's not around. Yeah. It feels like everything on SmackDown is halted when he's not around.
Right.
Also,
not that they've been putting on good shows without him, but him being there really made it go, oh shit, yeah, this was.
Also, I got Jade versus Rhea for WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
I would be okay with that too.
I got her going to Raw and not SmackDown.
Oh, see, I have a feeling they're gonna milk this Rhea Nia Jax thing for a bit.
No, they're fucking not.
Well, unless she injures her, which is probable. I guess we'll go into that. So the Nia Jax match is weird to me because I don't believe Raquel would just get bodied by her like she did the first part of that match. Because like Raquel,
she has a back.
I know. I like Raquel. I hope they do something with her, but I do like how they ended the match where you brought Rhea in and then Shayna, and she hit a Brock Lesnar style dangerous behind the back suplex or belly to back suplex.
I was like, behind the back. What?
I just realized Rhea likes to say "oh shit" like casually on television.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because when she goes into oh shit.
Yeah. It's just like, how do you get that off?
Yeah. Well, there was something else we watched where they did that, where like they went over and he was like, "Oh shit."
I think Montez does that too.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. It's because
bitch.
Carlito, it wasn't Montez, but it was
Dawkins.
Carlito clotheslines Dawkins over the ropes, and you hear Dawkins go, "Oh shit!" Like goes over. Oh gosh. You had Becky retain. I didn't really care about that match.
Yeah.
It was a good match. Not to say that I didn't care because it was bad. It was a good technical match. I just
bring women out the woodwork because Xia Li finally got back on TV.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they're starting to use. Yeah, I'm happy they're starting to use these people that have been around that have just been sitting in catering. Tegan Nox actually having matches is good. I was a fan of hers. I was a fan of her and Dakota as a team. And then when Dakota went heel, Tegan kind of disappeared. Who was she teaming with for a while? She was teaming with
Liv Morgan.
Was it Liv?
Yeah. Because this is when Damage Control was beating on Liv because I think she was she was SmackDown champion.
But before Damage Control, so before Tegan got fired, like released, who was she? She was teaming with somebody else before that. I can't fucking remember who though.
Raquel at this point, who hasn't she teamed with?
Yeah, that's fair. But anyway, so yeah, it's good to see her back on TV, Xia Li getting back on TV, Indy getting used. I'm cool with all of that.
I tell you, I don't know what they're doing with the New Day right now. Because they had some kind of Viking match with, or I think it was Covey and Ivar.
Yeah, because the other one is injured.
Which I get that. I don't know, like it's weird seeing New Day like this because of how prominent they were for so long. And I get some of it you're making, you're doing the kind thing of making room for other talent.
I mean, they are making Ivar look like a beast.
Yeah, I will give that.
Which is good. It also tied into the Drew kind of anti-hero tweener.
Can't tell if he's going to heal or not,
Well, he's doing heelish things, but he's not like full on
heal because he saved Seth, kinda, I guess. With the failed cash in.
And he just kind of like,
and then Glasgow kissed fucking Dom, and then chucked the briefcase to the fucking ramp. I was definitely hoping he was gonna bust that panel when he did that. When he throws it, I go, "Oh, please, just like bust that fucking panel out doing that."
Because didn't Brock do that once?
Yeah,
he threw the fucking briefcase
and it busted one of the fucking panels on the Teletron or whatever it's called. Only biggest complaint I had about, I hate that Bronson Reed is the number one contender. I really wanted them to continue on with Gable.
They will.
With that many losses.
They will when Gable's going to win it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, I'm praying
there's no way
WrestleMania that Gable WrestleMania.
That's way too long.
They could do it at Survivor Series and be fine. They could do it at Rumble and be fine.
Yeah.
I think you do it at one of the bigger pay-per-views.
Maybe.
That, or if you're gonna do it at Rumble, have him lose it at Rumble, but enter him, or like hurt somebody and enter himself into the Rumble, and have him win Rumble if you're not gonna have Cody do it. Because then I'm fine with like Gunther, Rollins, or even, I don't
think you need to take anybody's
Gunther Reigns would be fine, I think. I mean, you'd have the Imperium versus the Bloodline, which I don't think would be terrible as long as they don't job Giovanni out to every match like they do right now.
They're going to.
Yeah.
Giovanni versus Jimmy, the two jobbers. Oh, that was something I wanted to say with the fast lane. It was a funny moment during the Cena fight with him. So Solo's fighting Cena and he gets him down, and they do a pan shot to like Jimmy in the corner, and he's got his hand out for like Solo to dab him up, and like Solo just ignores him, and he goes, and he just like does it to himself, and then goes away. Like I like and don't like Jimmy right now because like there's definitely moments where he's pretty funny, and then some of it's just like, oh god, like just I don't care, It'll be interesting seeing the dynamic with Roman back, because Roman seems surprised that like Jimmy got involved.
Watching that happen, them having that like quarterback discussion or whatever, that shit was actually really funny.
I like the yeet thing. He goes yeet.
Yeah,
Roman's looking straight face. I don't like that. Like shut that shit down.
Yeah.
And
what are you doing? I don't like that.
I guess the so-called, and we talked about it a little bit, but we didn't fully go on it, but the gem of the week, NXT, where they pulled out all the stops I've put in my notes. Like I said, I think everybody they brought, really only two people brought anything to the table. Maybe not even that. I mean,
no, Undertaker and
Asuka seemed kind of pointless. But I guess they were doing she still remains undefeated in NXT.
Yeah.
You know, of course he announces the Dusty Classic.
No, I don't think she is.
Oh, that's what they said on like during the match after she won.
I'm being low key being racist. I just confused her. I just confused Asuka and Io Shirai.
And you were getting after fucking me.
No, because I'm like, didn't Sasha beat her in NXT at one point? But no, that the Great American Bash.
This guy.
No.
Gonna get on me because I had an issue with people doing the fucking mist, and then.
Because what was that match in Great American Bash?
I don't know. Do you even remember what Asian woman it was?
Shut up.
You sure it wasn't Tajiri?
No. It was Great Muda, but so he would. Okay. Huh. It was a non-title match. It was Banks and Shirai.
Shirai.
Why did I think she was there?
You're racist.
Fuck off. But yeah. So you're right. But yeah, no, that doesn't.
I mean, they do the tag classic, which I guess is cool. I mean, has that been gone for a while, or am I just
2-3 years?
2-3 years.
I think the last people to win it were Riddle and Dunn.
Oh, okay.
That's the last team I remember winning it.
Cena was there because why not? LA Knight was also there because why not?
Yeah. Special guest. I mean, he was a good referee.
I disagree. I think he took too much attention away.
No. Yeah, I agree with that.
No, I mean like the actual
I guess
being able to count so you watch some of these guys when they're special referees and they like look terrible and they don't know how to referee. At least he like knew what he was doing.
No, my only issue is just I feel like they took too much attention away from it, or he did, I should say. Because like Porto was saying, they were doing like the chants and all that stuff, and it's like, man, like this should be about these two guys.
They're doing a lockup, and LA Knight's pointing to the crowd, and they're just going, yeah. So the Dusty Classic has not been gone. The last winner was the Creed brothers, I believe.
Oh shit. Okay.
Then why did they phrase it like a return?
Yeah, no. So the last winner technically was the women, so it was Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray. The Creed brothers beat MSK. Like, yeah, no.
But yeah, I mean, you had Cena out there to almost AA Braun Breaker, and then do nothing else. Cody was the general manager, kinda. Yeah,
he'll be there next week. Well, this week.
Dragunov retaining, which that match was good. I did like Trick Williams, was the one that come out and kind of interfere since they kind of screwed him. I do like Dragunov doesn't put on a bad match, man. He just all around. I like the guy.
Yeah.
You had the Pillman Jr. / not Pillman because
Lexus King.
What is it again?
King.
Lexus King.
I think the Lexus part comes from his mom who passed away, I believe.
No, it's his
sister. No. Okay, yeah. And the King is the stepdad.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he went as Pillman outside of this company, correct?
Yeah.
Is this his choice?
Yes and no. He got to pick the name, but they wanted something different.
Other than Pillman.
They've already alluded to the fact that he is.
Yeah, I mean, they do his whole video package.
Yeah,
it's Brian Pillman.
Right.
They even show his face over like Brian Pillman's face over his face.
Which I guess it's not weird because I mean Braun doesn't go by Steiner.
Rex.
But that was only because Vince was in charge and didn't want the name recognition. During the 2.0 era.
Yeah. But I think that'll be interesting. I haven't seen much of his stuff outside the company, so I'm interested to see him.
MJF sent his ass packing.
Really? Was he bad or was he?
No, I'm kidding. There's just a thing with MJF had a storyline with Brian Pillman Jr. And the best part of it was like him in the middle of the ring saying, "Oh, I'm gonna speak to your father, Mr. Pillman, sir."
Oh
Who am I
God.
kidding? Looks down at the ground. Hey, Pillman, get. It's
Jesus.
just so fucking dark.
Well, see, that's my thing is I had, I guess, a what is it called where you think you remember something a certain way, but you're totally.
Mandela effect.
I guess I had like a bit of that with Pillman because for some reason in my head, I thought Pillman killed himself was how he was dead.
You're confusing who
I know he's not Kurt Cobain. I know it's not that he's Kurt Cobain. No, I genuinely remember that was like watching like a WWE thing was that Pillman was nuts and killed himself.
No, I know what you're confusing it with. It's that fucking thing he had with Austin where he pulls a gun out.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. But like it was this whole bit that he was genuinely insane and he eventually killed himself.
Kayfabe. He kayfabe killed himself and you believed it.
Well, they got
Still
me.
real to him, damn it.
They got me. And then to end the night, Ron Breakker just getting the choke slam of a lifetime. Just the air he got on that son of a bitch. Just and I love how he did it. I do like that we've reverted now that Undertaker's kind of retired-ish. That just every version of him from here on out is just badass American biker Undertaker.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That works for me. But
I don't know why that character gets such a bad rap. I didn't hate that character. I liked the more besides that. Because he had that non-Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit song towards the end of his American Badass run.
Yeah.
What? See, I only remember the two. I remember rolling, and I remember the
Limp Bizkit. I am.
Yeah, that's Kid Rock.
Huh.
Limp Bizkit's was rolling.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the third one. I only remember the two.
Wait, wasn't it Dead Man Walking? And then it goes into like a rock theme?
Yeah.
God, I don't remember that whatsoever.
Yep, you got it right in your head. Yeah.
Like I don't remember the lyrics, but I remember like the tone of that song.
Yes.
You see, I only remember because of Here Comes the Pain, because you could drive the motorcycle around.
Yeah, everyone did. And
hit people with it. Yeah.
People.
But I do like how he sets it up where he's like, one of these days you're gonna be a hell of a talent. It's not today.
Not today, boy.
Has him look at the hand and then just drops him.
Yeah. Yeah, with Braun doing the whole badass thing, and then he sat up like the Undertaker in that match with Corbin after he went through the table. Like it makes sense. Have that little rub real quick and just be done with it.
I the biggest rub of that whole night because he got endorsement from Cena and Undertaker by the end of it.
Oh, this is true. Yeah. Well, then what? Trick as well, kind of like had a thing with Cena.
Yeah,
they had that back
of like, when's it time to, I guess, cut loose or something, or however you phrased it.
Cena, Trick, and Carmelo. Because I like the joke of, it was like,
you guys can see me.
Yeah, John. Yeah, like John Cena's here, man. Wait, you guys can see me?
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm just cutting attention.
Hey, I don't care what anybody says. I still love Cena. If there's a guy who has sold his blood, sweat, and tears into this company and still does his best to further, even though there was an era of Cena squashes, I don't think it was his fault.
It was his fault.
Nah, I disagree. I don't think. I think some of it. Well, the Nexus I probably was.
Yeah, Jericho and Edge have a story about that Nexus SummerSlam.
Yeah.
SummerSlam match?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. You would think it's.
They got like DDT'd on the floor, and then it was a fucking disaster.
But I respect the guy. I like him. I stand by it.
He has been hamming it up a little too much. Like that whole thing with LA Knight coming down and signing the contract to be the tag partner, and he was like overdoing it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can look past that a little bit.
Like, bro, people pay you to act. Like, remember that when you're.
Everyone says he was good at it.
Yeah.
The Marine.
We all agree Batista's the best like wrestler turned actor at this point, right? Like,
no, Batista.
That's why I said Batista's the best.
Oh, I thought you were
wrestler
talking about
turned
Cena.
actor.
Like, wait.
No. I said we can all agree that Batista has become the best
Yeah,
wrestler.
I guess I would say that because he's had less flops, but I also don't think he's been in as many things.
No, I mean,
Uh,
I say range wise. Batista
yeah,
has the best range of acting.
Is he?
yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock plays the same person in every movie.
I mean, doesn't
Hogan is just
Batista
trash.
also kind of?
No,
I
because
mean,
there are movies where he's playing like
I
a
can
serious role.
I can think of like 4 movies Batista's in. Guardians of the
Guardians
Galaxy.
of the Galaxy.
That new horror movie that came out that was absolutely dog shit. Where it's like,
talking about the Zack Snyder one.
Is that the one where they gotta kill him? The family has to kill one of them to save the world. He was fine. I mean, the movie sucked.
It's a Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
He's in Army of Dead.
That's the Zack Snyder one. Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
That one wasn't bad. Although he's very generic in that.
Sure.
But he has comedy roles. He has serious roles. Like
he did Glass Onion. I actually just watched that this week.
Is he in Glass?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because he's the Twitch streamer.
Yep.
Let's see.
Ironic.
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, that's the horror movie.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, My Spy, Army of the Dead, Glass Onion, Stuber. He's gonna be in Dune. He's in Dune and Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, Knives Out.
Well, Glass Onion, Knives Out movie. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I do not remember him in Knives Out.
No, because it says Knives Out and then it says both.
I don't think he was in the first Knives Out.
I have to go back and check that now because now it's gonna bother me.
Because some of these don't make sense to me.
No.
Because it says he's in the Suicide Squad. I'm like, I know for a fact he's not.
He's not.
So these are wrong.
Because I know he did like a post-apocalyptic movie outside of obviously Army of the Dead.
Riddick? Oh, Blade Hunter.
Where it was like he was kind of like almost like a pandemic style where the world's just going to shit. And I did like him in that.
Parachute.
No, I do like. I agree. Rock plays the same character in everything he does. I do like some of his movies.
Sure, I'm not saying not to like his movies, but it's not that he has a ton of range.
I would say that Batista's had less flops.
Right. I mean, listen, my favorite thing that The Rock's been in was Ballers. Like that was.
Yeah. I have to sit down and watch that because I keep getting TikTok clips of that.
Yeah.
And it looks like a generally good show.
So I didn't finish it. I was probably 2.5 seasons in, maybe 3 seasons in, and I was enjoying what I was watching.
Because I saw the scene where like he kind of like gets invited to that board meeting where he just pretty much puts them on blast and was like, I know the fucking skeletons and I'll go on the goddamn news and bring them all out, you know.
Right.
The next time I come down here better be for a big fucking check and a new job.
Yeah, the show, from what I watched, now hopefully it doesn't end like shit. Like a lot of shows seem to, like they just kind of peter off at the end a little bit. But from what I had seen, and it's been a while, I'm gonna go back and watch it again, like start from the beginning, just so I can kind of get back into it a little bit.
Yeah,
it was good. Yeah,
yeah. My guilty pleasure of rock movies is still Walking Tall.
I really liked him in not Get Shorty. What was the sequel to that?
It's
Walking Tall.
No. Shit. It had like everybody and their mother in it. It was like Travolta, Vince Vaughn, I think
Expendables 3.
No.
Sorry.
Face Off 2.
Get Hard.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Yeah, I can't.
Jumanji 2.
He's good.
Be
I
Cool.
like.
That's what it was. Be Cool.
Huh. I don't remember.
With fuck.
It was John Travolta, Uma Thurman, Vince Vaughn, Cedric the Entertainer, Dwayne Johnson. There was some. Where's
the Cop Johnson?
Here's the cast. Where's the rest of the cast?
I do think he's in Jumanji as well.
Fucking
yeah.
I inherently like the Jumanji movies because they don't try to copy the Robin Williams one. Speaking of
yeah,
teams,
I was okay with that, with the fact that they like kind of
did their own thing with it.
Yeah, a little different.
And just to end the night with some stuff that isn't wrestling. I talked about this a few weeks ago, but I finally had time to sit down and watch it. Is The Wrestler on Netflix? Like I said last time we talked about it, it's about OVW, which was the promotion that you could say was the pre NXT before NXT. It's where you got your Cena, your Orton, your Batista, and whatnot. It still goes around, and it's actually based out of my hometown. Oddly enough, Al Snow and Doug Basham are the kind of the two main guys that help run the promotion, from my understanding. But it was a very well done documentary. They really, and they didn't sugarcoat anything. They showed, I mean, there was one of these guys that pretty much was women wrestlers don't belong in wrestling kind of guy. And of course he's the douchiest Kid Rocking looking guy of the group. But they really show some of the talent. One of them actually, they show she's in AEW now. She got called up. Can't remember what her name was offhand. It's like Kayla Lay or something.
Kaylee Ray?
Maybe.
No.
British?
No. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Kaylee Ray was the UK talent. Oh, you talking about? She wore like a smiley face on her.
I don't remember.
No, that was Kaylee Ray, wasn't it?
I'm gonna figure out. Layla Gray is who it was. Layla Gray. Yeah, she last fought Jade. Or was, okay. Her time in AEW as the last of Jade Cargill's baddies.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so, and then one of the other guys, Cash Flow, was actually on AEW, I guess, as kind of a jobber, which I do like that guy. The only one that I hate they didn't have more on is there's actually one of those guys is on TikTok and does quite a few like indie wrestling versus professional wrestling, and it's Jack Vaughn. I don't know if either of you've ever seen any of his stuff, but he's on there too, and I've met him before, and he's actually really funny. But I would recommend it. It's like 7 episodes. They're like about an hour long each, but it's pretty much showing they do like a summer series of just matches around Kentucky, all leading up to like their big pay-per-view. And Al Snow wrestles, and the guy's still jacked, and it was crazy to see how like in almost better, like you said, better shape than he was kind of when he was wrestling
90s.
Yeah. I still think Al Snow was underrated as far as his talent in the ring. I thought he's very good in the ring. I just think they didn't ever do anything useful with
him. They had a ton of trust in him for some of the stuff that he did.
Well,
I mean,
New Rockers.
He tagged with Marty Jannetty for a while. He was that Leaf Cassidy character. He
1, 2, 3 head.
You're right, and then the Job Squad run and the whole that was.
Is what he was also tag champs with Mankind for a while there, wasn't he?
It was like a brief run.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't long. Yeah, I remember at one point like him and Mankind.
I had forgotten. I don't know if they won the titles or they just tagged a bunch of times. So funny enough, I had mentioned it before. I watched that Reliving the War.
Yeah.
YouTube channel, and I remember them. It was one of those like forgotten memories that like when you see it again, you're like, oh shit, I forgot that they teamed up for a while and they were friends.
Well, yeah, because it was The Rock has a whole bit with him and Mankind because he's like, who the fuck are you? You know. And I was like, what do you mean, Rock? Like we had dinner last week. You know. Yeah. Also NFL news. Taylor Swift ruins the NFL. Because she ruins everything she touches. And if I have to hear one more fucking time about her and Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey.
One more time. I don't fucking care.
The NFL, the refs are now rigging Chiefs game.
Yeah. No. Oh God, man. I saw, who was it? The last one they did where it was bad.
They had two really, really bad calls against the Jets.
Yeah.
One was a very clear holding penalty, and then Mahomes all of a sudden ran for like 30 yards or something like that to pick up a first down in a crucial spot. And then they called a defensive holding penalty on the D-back after he made the interception catch. You watch the ref, watch him catch the interception, and then throw a flag from like 10, 15 yards ago, and you're like, what the fuck? And then they did it again. They did it again to Minnesota. Now, you can argue like both teams could have put themselves in better positions to win, but I mean, some of these calls are fucking
blatantly wrong.
And also, what's up with dude? Was it last week or the week before? I don't know, but like a defender was running right at Mahomes and then like just ran past him and didn't even tackle him.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know, man.
Come on, bro. You guys are feeding into this script thing a little too hard. Like, that's
gotta make it look like there's a choice, you know, or at least for the betting websites. And then I guess I don't even want to talk about it because I don't like giving this guy any, because we were just talking about him earlier. Logan Paul wins his fake fight, and yeah, it's a fake fight. Go fuck yourself. It's not real. It's scripted. It was a shit show, and if it was actually real boxing, it'd have been the biggest disgrace to actual boxing.
Even though it's not real boxing, it's still the biggest disgrace to boxing. Because they still try to call it boxing.
And it's, it's, I do think it's funny KSI lost because, you know.
He lost twice. Because he thought it was a bullshit call, so he tried to get it overturned. And then after
super lost.
She said, fuck it, you
double
lost
down.
Even worse.
Yeah. So pretty substandard boxing match as they usually are. But hey, look at that. We were able to get through this in a decent amount of time for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of wrestling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for tonight. We will be back again, as always, next Sunday with our next episode of Cream of the Crop podcast. On behalf of my two co-hosts, have a good one, and we will catch you in the next episode.